I'd like to welcome everybody back. Thank you for watching the previous video. And right now, what we have in store, or what I have in store for you, would be about coaching, and it's specific in the BPO industry. Coaching is a way of life in the BPO industry. Most centers, if not all, requires a frontline leader, which would be a supervisor or a team leader, to coach every agent or each team member at least once a week. So if you're a supervisor, a team leader, and you have 15 to 18 people, that is, under your bucket, you're supposed to be able to coach every one of them at least once a week at the bare minimum. Pertaining to coaching, it is a fact that not all frontline leaders were trained to coach. No formal leadership training on how to conduct proper coaching has ever happened. For most, okay, not all. And that is a fact. More often than not, they've already coached or handled the team for more than 3 months, 6 months, or even a year, even before maybe they've enrolled or somebody would enroll them to a leadership training on how to conduct proper coaching. So they have no idea, or at least there is no method to madness. What they do would be getting the best part of their experience being coached by their supervisor or supervisors. That depends if they keep on transferring from one team to another. And then getting the best parts of it and then coming up with their own. So no formal training from preparation to conversation, coaching preparation, preparing that conversation, actually delivering that conversation, up to documentation, and even up to follow-up. They end up winging it. And sad to say, that's the Peter Principle for you in action. It has happened. We did talk about the Peter Principle, the Dilbert Principle, the Putz Law, all of those things in the previous video. So you may want to go ahead and relate back to that. Anywho, there are other supervisors or team leaders who invested time in learning by having the mentality of, if you're not going to train me, I'm going to go ahead and train myself. And it pushed them to become better because they went out asking people to mentor them. They review, they study on their own. And they ended up being successful in what they do. Now, here, what we have for this video right now, this is me paying it forward. And I'll be showing you a form, and I'd like you to focus on the content rather than the aesthetic of the form. And our focus for today is not the whole coaching. We'll just focus on smart action planning. In my next videos, I will be tackling it letter by letter. So smart action plan. Here we go. Smart action plan would be, well, the acronym stands for SMART: specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-bound. Contrary to popular belief, that is not supposedly the sequence. Well, specific should always be at the forefront, being specific. But everything else, you could interchange their position. People thought when they go ahead and deliver or document a smart action plan, the way it's documented should also follow SMART. And so these are elements of an action plan, and all of these elements needs to be present in your action plan. So let's dive into a smart action plan. Here's what we have first. Here's a scenario. You're done with your behavior identification. You're done with linking it to which metric. You're done with finding out how much lift you could produce by addressing the behavior. In a month's time, you already know what's the percentage of increase, so that you already have that number. You're no longer guessing it because you've already done due diligence in the math. So what we're focusing right now would be documenting the smart action plan that is clear both to you and to your agent. And that's what we're going to do right now. Let's go ahead and jump right into it. A smart action plan, of course, needs detail. Let's start with letter S, specific. It needs to be specific by making sure you put their actual verbs, more verbs, and hopefully non-existent when it comes to adjectives. What are they specifically supposed to do? Who's gonna do what? That's specific. So on your screen, you would see there, here, let me go ahead and flash it. It shows here specific stuff. What is it? First, the smart action plan detail itself. Increase Eve's inbound voice NPS from 63.5% to 70% by the end of the month by using statements such as, but not limited to, we really appreciate your patience while we fix your concern. Thank you for partnering with us in resolving the problem. Or, our company feels successful because of customers like you. At the end of the call, before saying, is there anything else I can do for you? Pretty much, the steps would be there. Eve is expected to consistently follow the steps in every inbound call. Number 1, you have to resolve the issue. Next, after resolving the issue, you have to deliver a resolution confirmation statement matching the concern. There we go. Deliver the NPS statement. Deliver the closing confirmation statement. These are the 4 steps. They're not supposed to skip any of these steps. She has to follow it sequentially. And to make sure she has nominated to do things to develop consistency. How is she going to do this? Make sure she doesn't forget it. She's going to place a post-it on the side of her screen as a reminder. And then she'll also document every instance she did it. And it must tally the number of calls she had in the day. And every scheduled weekly coaching, Eve is supposed to come up with a statement similar to the 2 examples. So there are 3 examples here. So she gets to choose which 2 examples she'd like to use as her base. And she has to create one statement. She's supposed to use this new statement right after the coaching. And will notify the supervisor if she just used it, so that the supervisor can listen and check. At the end of the month, you would have no less than 5 to 6 statements that you can choose from depending on the call. Those are the specific actions that Eve is willing to take. Now, from the supervisor side, supervisor will randomly listen to the last 1 to 2 minutes of 5 recorded calls and 3 live calls every week. So that's 8 calls. But not the whole call, just the last 2 minutes. Very specific. And for Eve to be considered successful, 5 calls out of 8 calls, Eve should have manifested or should have followed the steps consistently and sequentially. On the second week, 7 calls out of the 8 calls. On the third week, 8 out of 8. On the fourth week, 8 out of 8. Now, most of you might be thinking, why is it third week 8 out of 8 and the fourth week you just repeated it? The third week shows technically that she can be consistent, that she already knows how to do it. On the fourth week, it now shows mastery. For example, day 3, 4 out of 8. The goal is 5. Okay, I just need to make sure that I do this again so that I would pass my first week. Here's the question. What if on the first week, Eve was able to hit 8 out of 8 calls? Should we change the second week and third and fourth? The answer is no. You don't. Because this is an agreement between the supervisor and the agent, and you should never change that agreement. This is supposedly sacred. Okay? In the same line, if the person's having difficulty meeting it, you don't adjust it to a lower number. You have to figure out what's causing it. Does that make sense? Awesome. There you go. So that handles specific up to the point of when it will happen. It will be executed. When will Eve start? August 15th at the end of that coaching, because that coaching was happening on August 15th. So that's when it's going to start. Follow-up coaching is scheduled on August 21st. So all of the information here is very specific. It answers questions, who's going to do what, and what are they supposed to be doing.